What I was highlighting is every year, over 100 billion land-based animals are killed, and they're born and put in chains and put in jails and then murdered and eaten by humans as routine. And we don't lift our head up and recognize just how serious and how scaled this behavior is. The industrialization of this process is really abhorrent, and there's videos you can watch, and I think when you watch them, you'll recognize just how painful it is.
Delicious.
Yeah,
I knew it was coming, Chamath. Don't do it, Chamath.
And I do think that Chamath's voice in this is really the voice that's kept this from ever becoming an issue. Because it's not human, we don't kind of pay attention to it.
Yeah, complete agreement with you, Freeberg. If you look at all life being precious and you say the life of a cow, the life of a dog, the life of a human, these are all lives. The scale of suffering is...
These animals can problem solve. They can feel emotion. They can recognize...
Pigs, cows.
They can recognize things happening to them and to their loved ones and their family members. And I think that in the context of that, to cause pain and suffering on those animals and on those creatures at the scale that we do is something that's just mind-blowing to me.
I think that's fair enough.
And I expect that one day we will wake up and be like, I cannot believe we allowed our society to do that. But I do think that we need to solve Chamath's problem, which is how do you make something that's friggin' delicious?
It's not
and how do you make it
problem.
cheaper?
Hold on a second. It's not a problem. My perspective is I understand where you're coming from. I respect your point of view, but here's my point of view, which is we evolved to superiority in an evolutionary process that was not preordained. And we are now in a position where we are allowed to consume things that we choose. There is also a claim that you could make that, a tiger or a lion should not be attacking and killing a gazelle, because that's causing suffering to the gazelle or blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, how we choose to go and consume the things that we need for sustenance is a choice that we can make. And there are probably better choices we can make over time. At the end of the day, I think that this was a reasonable evolution of humanity and human ingenuity and intellect. And I don't feel guilty about that. I don't weigh the suffering of animals the same way I weigh the suffering of human beings. I don't.
And I would argue that when we were apes in the jungle and we didn't have the choice, I would wholeheartedly agree with you. But today, we are a people that do have the choice.
What choice do we have?
And it's because we have the choice to not eat meat and still survive and still be happy that we can make a better choice.
It doesn't taste good. There's a part of my soul. I'll just be very honest with you.
And I agree. And that's why I think we need to solve that problem. And that's why I believe...
It's not a problem.
If you made an alternative for you that tasted good and was as affordable as the alternative, which is actually killing an animal, you would choose it. And we haven't given you that solution yet. And when I say we, I mean, call it the techno food people. But there is a tremendous amount of money going into this area, and we will devise artificially produced meat that will not be made by killing an animal, but will be made in a lab that looks and tastes identical.
Or a piece of sushi. Just give us a year.
You'll have a piece of sushi in 3 years. You will have... you will be able to go taste chicken next year. It'll be very, very expensive.
Okay.
But cell-based meat will be available.
Right, and then let's get
at a commercial scale within the next 5 to 10 years.
Our steak. That's really what it's about.
David, my commitment to you is I will do a taste test whenever you say what you call it. You pick the place, the time.
Totally.
I will show up. And if it's better, I will never eat meat again.
Okay. We're not ready. We're not ready for that. And that's a great commitment.
All right.
Yeah.
And I am similar in the commitment.
But in the meantime,
don't troll it. It's not taste. It's distasteful.